From News Team 4, this is your 24-hour news and information source.
Hello, I'm Mary Wilkinson in the newsroom. Oklahoma City firefighters are battling a 3-alarm fire at the New Way Cleaners on West Linwood Street. Firefighters on the scene are tired and they've called for more manpower. And it's an odd day for water rationing. People living at odd-numbered addresses may water their lawns, but there's still no watering between 5 and 10 at night. On your 24-hour news station, more news in 1 hour.
This is your 24-hour news and information station, KFOR TV, Oklahoma City.
The enforcers are on the streets, making sure folks on the north side of Oklahoma City are obeying the new water restrictions. The first full day of water rationing this summer has come and gone. Good evening, I'm Terry Cook, sitting in for Linda Cavanaugh.
And I'm Kurt Doctor. You're watching News Team 4. That story in a minute. First, tire scam tops our news tonight. It may have been going on for 4 years, and tonight one dismissal is in the works, and authorities are looking for as many as a dozen men that may have been stealing supplies from the Oklahoma National Guard. A warehouse of supplies, tires, fan belts, and even automotive tools. They are essential items to keep the Oklahoma National Guard moving. But it's the goods themselves that have been moving, and apparently at wholesale prices.
The alleged acts include trading and selling of tires to individuals and businesses. The investigation indicates the act started more than 4 years ago.
Authorities speculate old civilian tires were turned into the supply depot within the 700th Battalion and replaced with new, supposedly for military hardware like Jeeps or pickup trucks. But a 2-month probe by the FBI and the Guard reveals at least $10,000 worth of supplies have been resold.
Pretty sharp operators.
And this investigation is far from over. The Guard has put out a call for information that could lead to arrests.
Members of the department's police force and FBI agents are currently seeking information from anyone who may have purchased tires or other government items from department personnel.
And if you have any information, please contact Leland Schneider. The number there is 425-8587. And of course, News Team 4 will be following the story for you throughout the weekend.
The dispute over a drug treatment center continues tonight. That center, affiliated with the Church of Scientology, held a big grand opening bash last weekend. Problem is, it's still not certified by the state. Narconon Shalaco treats its patients with methods established by L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of the Church of Scientology. A year ago, they set up shop at this old Indian school north of Newkirk. At that time, they were told they would need a state certification to operate, but so far, they've not responded.
Normally, programs are very prompt when they understand the need for certification and the state requirements and regulations. They're usually pretty quick to respond.
Narconon has until next Tuesday to apply for certification. Otherwise, the mental health department could request an investigation. Well, 2 undercover Oklahoma City police officers are lucky to be alive tonight.
But a suspected drug dealer wasn't as lucky. He was killed last night during a shootout with Oklahoma City police. Now, when police stormed through the doors of this South Oklahoma City home, they were greeted with gunfire. A man wielding a .357 Magnum was shooting to kill, according to police, but officers acted quickly and managed to escape with their lives.
Once the suspect broke free, he still had possession of the weapon, and leveling at him, there's all the intent in the world to believe that he was going to do harm to them.
Now, police say one undercover officer was so close to the gun, he wound up with powder burns on his hand. The second officer was apparently hit with shrapnel from the suspect's gun. Both injuries were minor. Again, the suspect was killed. Well, some folks in Dewey County have a police problem to deal with of their own tonight. The small town of Visay has absolutely no police protection. About 845 people live there, mostly farm families. In the past, the city paid a deputy to live there and relied on the county sheriff's department to keep law and order. But this spring, the county ended that program, and the deputy just wanted too much money. So since July 1st, the city's lone police cruiser has sat unused. The city is advertising for a police chief, but so far, just 7 people have applied for the job. If you live in the northern half of Oklahoma City tonight, you need to water your lawn, you might want to go out and double-check that address.
It could be expensive if you get confused. If you live in an even-numbered house, it's okay. Day 1 of odd-even rationing is coming to an end in Oklahoma City. A busy day for city water department workers as they patrol the streets of northwest Oklahoma City. Under the rationing plan, this sprinkler should be off, but instead it's using 55 gallons of water every minute. Tony Martin could try to hit the owners with a $70 fine, but what he's doing could be even more effective. He's shutting off their water.
It looks like somebody's got their house up for sale, nobody's home. Sprinkler system's probably set on automatic. They probably don't even know it's on right now.
Much of the metro is now under mandatory rationing. Moore, Piedmont, and all of Oklahoma City north of 50th Street, including War Acres and the Village. If you live south of 50th, you won't face a fine if you water on the wrong day, but the city is asking you to help by complying with the plan anyway. Automatic sprinklers may be the biggest problem for now. Some people are forgetting to reprogram them. That's why for the next few days, Martin and other water department workers will be patrolling the north side to make sure the order is obeyed. He says he doesn't want to hand out tickets, he just wants to spread the word, so people will cooperate. Now, tomorrow's an odd day, meaning folks who live at odd-numbered addresses may water, but remember, no watering at all between 5 and 10 o'clock at night.
Well, it may be dry now, but wheat continues to pour into some grain elevators across Oklahoma. Most of it now is destined for flour mills and feedlots. This elevator at Watanga holds about 3 million bushels. Some of it might hit the export market, but with the price of wheat now, what's coming in will probably stay stateside. Still, it will represent the farmer's paycheck to pay expenses.
And he harvests it one time a year, and then he will normally sell it. He can sell it all at once, or he can sell it monthly or quarterly, or just when he anticipates the market's at a good position to sell it. And then as far as the need to pay his bills and his overhead costs.
The Wheat Commission tells us the quality of wheat has been excellent this spring, but yield per acre generally disappointing. Well, still ahead on News Team 4, could a drug that helps kids grow keep you young?
We'll talk about that in my For Your Health tip. Also, a country founded by Americans is falling apart tonight. They're fighting it out in the streets as the government of Liberia seems ready to fall.
I really just can't get the guys to play, and I think anybody could do a better job than me.
And in sports, from genius to goner, the man they call the White Rat steps down.
I've been the TV spokesman for Southwest Ford now for over 5 years, and I hear the same thing everywhere I go. Oh, I got a great deal. Boy, they treated me royally. Why, I couldn't be happier. The reason I get to meet people like that is because of people like these, the staff and management of Southwest Ford, a group of professionals with one goal in mind: to make sure our customers are completely satisfied with their car or truck. At Southwest Ford, we work hard to win your trust. We work even harder to keep it.
Come to Oklahoma City and Southwest Ford.
Everybody loves a bargain, and here's Oklahoma City's biggest bargains, the Evans Clearance Outlet. South on I-240 just west of Shields and north at Hefner Road in the Broadway Extension. You'll find scratched and dented furniture, overstocked items, and special closeout purchases. Alan White, one of America's finest sofa manufacturers, recently offered Evans all of their ones and twos, sofas that they couldn't make up in big quantities at a fabulous discount. Savings of 40 to 60% off the suggested retail prices. Come see them at the Evans Clearance Outlet, I-240 in South Shields and Hefner Road in the Broadway Extension.
Officials now believe a spark from a compressor ignited a deadly explosion and fire near Houston last night. Let me bring you up to date on that story and others making world headlines tonight. Authorities say workers were trying to start a compressor at the Atlantic Richfield chemical plant when the blast occurred. It sent a huge plume of fire into the night sky. 17 people were killed, and the explosion broke windows in buildings several miles away.
Gunfire heard across the capital city of African nation of Liberia today. Rebel soldiers are closing in on the fortress of Liberian leader Samuel Doe. He's accused of corruption, and tonight the government is in total disarray. Soldiers walk the streets, ransacking stores and warehouses. The United States has offered to evacuate Doe, but so far he has declined help.
NATO leaders wrapped up their two-day meeting with a proposition for a gentler Western defense policy. The alliance agreed to change NATO's nuclear philosophy.
By reducing its reliance on nuclear weapons, NATO and the new Europe will adopt a new strategy making its nuclear forces truly weapons of last resort.
This follows yesterday's unprecedented invitation to Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev to attend a future NATO meeting. Tonight, President Bush in Houston for next week's seven-nation economic summit. Here at home, an Oklahoma City pharmacist free on bond tonight after he was arrested in a steroid bust yesterday. Officials say Henry Louis McCarty owned the Quail Plaza drugstore, and he used it to become the city's largest supplier of black market steroids. Narcotics agents have now filed a motion to seize McCarty's northwest Oklahoma City home. They say he used that house to market the steroids. Steroids are synthetic male hormones often used by athletes and bodybuilders to promote rapid muscle growth.
Well, could a hormone which helps kids grow also help stop the aging process? Researchers are looking into some new evidence that indicates it might. Tonight, my health tip reaction to this startling finding.
Come on in, hop up on the table, let's take a look.
For this little guy, it could mean the difference between short stature for life and normal height. Human growth hormone. He'll take it for several years to supplement what his body doesn't produce. Doctors predict if caught in time, the deficiency can all but be made up, adding as many as 6 to 8 inches to his height. That wonder hormone has new promises. In a study done in Wisconsin, 12 men over the age of 60 received growth hormone injections for 6 months, and doctors report 10 to 20 years of aging was reversed.
I think what we'd like is an intervention or a medicine that would stop the whole aging process, and nothing like that is available. It may be that nothing like that will ever be achieved.
Doctors caution, while the initial benefits appear promising, there is no guarantee that we have found the fountain of youth or that we know what long-term injections might do. Still, interesting findings. A lot of people called us about that today.
You know, what about if you had, were in remission with leukemia, or you had small cancers? Would that make them blossom as well?
Boy, I don't know. I haven't any idea. There are all kinds of things, though, that we don't know about human growth hormone, especially the long-term use. I did want to mention, though, that a couple of the things that it did seem to do for the elderly was it reduced the body fat and seemed to increase the lean muscle tissue. Kind of interesting.
Thanks, Terry. Another weekend for swimming or maybe just sitting inside with the air conditioning on.
That sounds good. Kevin Foreman with the forecast when we come back. And later, how you can take the high-tech road to keeping pets away from your pets.
Today on July 4th, 1990, as we celebrate the nation's birthday, KFOR TV, Channel 4, celebrates with Bricktown a new beginning and a commitment for a stronger Oklahoma. 4 Strong dedicates this flag to the citizens of Oklahoma City, the real strength of Oklahoma.
If you want the best price in the state of Oklahoma on a new Buick, please listen to this message. Effective right now through the end of the month at Jack Cooper Buick in Norman, you can buy any new Buick in our inventory for just 2% over invoice. Plus, you keep all the rebates. 2% over invoice, and you keep the rebates. No hassles, no hidden charges. Every Buick at Jack Cooper in Norman this month only, just 2% over invoice, and you keep all the rebates. Shop Oklahoma's finest Buick dealership, Jackie Cooper Buick on the model cars in Norman.
This special sale at Jackie Cooper Buick absolutely ends July 31st.
Up to $150 in cold cash for your old car. Give us a call. We buy and haul. Pull apart. Cheaper because you pull it on Southeastern across from Trosper Park.
Pull apart. There's a new name in pickups.
Sonoma.
So what's in a name?
The 1991 Sonoma from your GMC truck dealer is so tough, with tough features like rear-wheel anti-lock brakes and 4-wheel shift on the fly.
Sonoma is so fun. Great looks, real comfort, and a touch of class.
Sonoma is so smart. Right now you get $1,000 cash back or 7.9% APR GMAC financing for 48 months.
So what's in a name?
So much. It's Sonoma.
Get it only at Jackie Cooper, Bob Howard, Joe Coker, and Ferguson, your GMC truck trading team.
Be fun to sit under the sprinkler if you were allowed to turn it on, I guess.
Right. Well, if you have a, what would it be tomorrow?
Tomorrow be an even,
Tomorrow
be an
is an odd day.
Odd day. I'm sorry.
We're well in tune with what's going on, aren't we? I tell you, it's been a hot, not only been dry, but it's been hot too. Look at the daytime highs here in the metro for the 1st of July, 101 on the 2nd and the 3rd, and on the 5th we hit 100 degrees. Not normal daytime highs around 92, so we've been well above, and today has been the coolest so far in July, and it was 96 degrees. That'll give you some idea if you haven't been around for a while. It's been brutally warm. 86 right now, the humidity is 47%. Winds are out of the south at 12, and the pressure is rising. Thunderstorms managed to miss the state today. Several popped up in parts of Missouri and moved into Kansas. Those have almost since dissipated, and several showers and thunderstorms in central sections of Texas, moving to the west with a little easterly wave. Now, it looks like as we get into Saturday night and Sunday, part of the energy from this may start to move up through the Texas and Oklahoma panhandle and give a slight chance for a few thunderstorms over in western Oklahoma. But really, there's no real significant change in the weather coming up. We've increased the humidity a little bit today, so the daytime highs came down just a bit, but if you add the two together, the heat stress index goes up, so it's kind of a wash on comfort outside. It just continues very, very hot. Thunderstorms up to our north, and there's a cool front moving down to the mid-Atlantic coast states, popping some thunderstorms today. Very pleasant weather up around Chicago in the 70s today. That cooler air will start to move off to the northeast for tomorrow. We've got another system moving into the northern plains, but as with the past ones that have moved through, they don't get very far down to the south. In fact, they cruise the northern plains and then move down into the southeastern part of the nation, and they get all the cooling benefits. The one tomorrow will increase the winds a little bit, take the heat back up into the Dakotas, and there'll be some showers and thunderstorms along it, but mainly up to the north of the state. And big-time showers and thunderstorms with locally heavy rain in parts of the upper Midwest for tomorrow afternoon. Daytime highs not changing a whole lot. Once again, about 96 to 102 across the state. Just very, very hot into the central plains, anywhere down along the Gulf Coast area, but very cool from the Great Lakes into the northeast with highs in the 70s. I'd like to say there's going to be big changes, but there's really not. Next 5 days look pretty much like what we saw today. For tonight, mostly fair, warm with lows in the 70s by morning, and then for tomorrow, we'll see quite a bit of sunshine. There's a slight chance we can see one or two thunderstorms during peak heating tomorrow afternoon, but I wouldn't worry about it if you're going out on the lake. South winds at about 10 to 20 here in central Oklahoma, a little stronger in the western part of the state, and about 5 to 15 in eastern Oklahoma. 96 to 100, the expected daytime highs. Here's my forecast for the next 5 days. Not a big change. We'll see temperatures vacillate a little bit between about 96 and around 100 degrees in the metro, and it looks like our chances for rain here are about 10% or less. So not exactly real good.
No, not exactly real good. No rain, but no wind either. That's what you're talking about for water skiers? Is that what you're saying?
It'll be great water skiing weather in the eastern part of the state. Out west, probably better sailing.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
In our Slice of Life tonight, it's for anyone who's ever had to suffer through a miserable date. I don't feel badly. Even the big stars have had their share of bad dates. In fact, you can find their stories in a new book called simply Bad Dates. Among the selection, Gregory Hines talks about his one and only date with a cat lover. Turns out Hines is allergic to cats and had to wheeze and sneeze his way through the entire dinner.
You're not going to be in that book, are you, Harry?
Poor guy, no. None of my stories. Next up in sports, the men's final is set at Wimbledon as a top seed falls.
The baseballs were flying in Cleveland tonight, but it wasn't the Indians who were happy. Bob Berry is next with all your sports.
Remember, you're well paid, better trained, and you work at Texaco's new Star Mart, where your job is to make the customer the star. Sure, we deliver big with America's favorite foods and drinks, even a customer satisfaction guarantee. We want people to count on Star Mart.
Texaco Star Mart. You are the star wherever we are.
Remember, Star Mart isn't where people have to stop. It's where they want to stop.
And this is our 1991 Chevy S10EL. Let me point out a few features. Electronic fuel injection, power front disc brakes, rear wheel anti-lock brake system, double wall steel, front and rear. 5-speed, full gauges, tinted glass. What do you think?
So, what will I get for this price?
Let me show you.
The 91 Chevy S10EL. For value, nobody's winning like today's Chevy truck.
Positive Energy is working hard to generate new jobs in Oklahoma, meeting new industry with reasons to locate in our state. OG&E's Business Resource Center is a world-class facility built to win new industry, where the latest in laser disc and video technologies present options that fit a company's needs. Positive Energy is making Oklahoma's future the brightest it can be. Positive Energy is OG&E.
Of all the year-end closeout sales on cars and trucks, only Fred Jones Ford goes at it 100%. Most dealers say wait until September. We don't. The summer sellout sale at Fred Jones Ford is already started. Every car, truck, and van that we own has been discounted to save you money. And nobody gets the bottom line price down like Fred Jones Ford. No gimmicks, no fast talk. We don't run a circus. But we know how to run a summer sellout sale at Fred Jones Ford.
Well, the homers were flying, weren't they? How well they do?
Well, the home team was not happy.
No, I know they weren't.
Well, the Oakland Athletics are something else, though, when they really get it on. They've done a lot, of course, in their baseball franchise history. We're talking about the Oakland Athletics. Tonight, the 1990 edition set a team record with 7 home runs hit by the Oakland Bats. The homers came against the Cleveland Indians in Cleveland. Rapid-fire order, here we go. First of all, the kids are a few Oakland fans there in Cleveland, after all, aren't there? Mark McGuire, Ricky Henderson, Jose Canseco, Jamie Quirk, and then Mark McGuire again. Ricky Henderson added another home run later in the game, and Carney Lansford also got one as Oakland set a team record, 7 home runs in one game. Mike Moore from Eakley, Oklahoma, got the win. And that was in the second game, obviously. Cleveland won the first game 6-1. Oakland wins the second 12-1. Minnesota beat the Yankees 2-0. Remember Andy Hawkins? The guy pitched a no-hitter last time out and lost. Tonight he shuts out Minnesota for 11 innings and then gives up 2 runs in the 12th and loses another game. He's 1-6 on the year. The Yankees won the second game 5-3. Also, Toronto over Seattle 1-0. Detroit beat Kansas City 4-0. Chicago down Baltimore 4-2. Texas 4, Boston nothing. That in the 9th, as you see. And California leads Milwaukee 8-4 in the 8th inning of play. In the National League, Montreal and Houston 3-2. Montreal the winner. You know, baseball players like to play practical jokes. This is on their own bat boy. Houston bat boy had a sunflower seed bag on his hat, didn't even know it. Bottom half of the 8th inning, score tied at 1. Pinch hitter Jerry Goff singles to right field, scoring Junior Noboa to put the Expos ahead for good. Final score was Montreal 3 and Houston 2. Cincinnati 4, Philadelphia 1, the final there. The Mets beat Atlanta 10-7. Mets continue to roll, don't they? San Diego leads the Cardinals 2-1 in the 5th. More on the Cards in just a minute. Pittsburgh 2, Los Angeles nothing in the 3rd. San Francisco and Chicago no score in the 3rd on the coast. And Richmond beat our Oklahoma City 89ers. That was in Richmond. The final was 4-1. The St. Louis Cardinals have an interim manager. Red Schoendienst was named the Cardinals manager for the rest of the season, as 11-year Cardinal manager Whitey Herzog resigned today, saying he was embarrassed by the poor play of his Cardinal team. The Cardinals are in last place in the National League East. Herzog blamed himself, no one else but himself, even though he's led the Cardinals to a great deal of success, including a world championship during his 11 years on the job, and they've had great attendance while he's been the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals. He'll be the new vice president of the team.
I guess we've had a lot of success there. Mostly, I guess, when you can draw 3 million people or sell 3 million tickets 4 years in a row, you have to say you're successful as a franchise, and I think I had a little bit to do with that. But Casey Stengel always said it best. If you don't own the club or die on the job, you're going to get fired or you're going to quit or whatever. And he's right.
He was right in Herzog's case. He quits, but he'll stay with the team, as we indicated. Wimbledon today, the men's semifinal produced a major upset. Top seed Yvonne Lendl, who wants very badly to win at Wimbledon, will not win again this year. He was beaten in straight sets by Stefan Edberg. Edberg, the number 3 seed, was in command of the match from the outset as he won in straight sets. Let's have a look at the match point. Edberg versus Lendl. Edberg winning in straight sets. And Edberg will meet Boris Becker in the final on Sunday. He beat Goran Ivanovic 4-6, 7-6, 6-0, and 7-6. Becker did. We'll see the match point of that match. Yvonne Lendl, as we said, cherishes Wimbledon more than any other, and yet he's never won the Wimbledon Championship, and yet he's ranked number 1 player in the world. Boris Becker has won at Wimbledon a couple of times and will be probably favored to win again over Edberg this time when they meet on Sunday. You'll see all of that Wimbledon action tomorrow and also Sunday right here on Channel 4, Breakfast at Wimbledon. Tomorrow night at Kalsu Stadium in Del City, the Moscow Bears provide the opposition for the new Oklahoma City Twisters minor league football system team in their first game ever. The game is, of course, an exhibition game, and the interest centers on the Soviet team, perhaps more even than the Twisters team. John Ralston, the former coach of the Denver Bears, is the coach of the Moscow Bears, and in his job, he tries to teach the American football system to the Soviets, who are just beginning to learn the game. Ralston said the American people have been great.
The American fans have greeted them with open arms. In fact, when we were in Tacoma, everybody was for us and not necessarily the Tacoma team. I think that's natural when you see the underdog. I think the average fan tends to favor them quite a bit.
In golf today, Lanny Watkins has a 1-stroke lead over Mark O'Meara after today's second round of the Anheuser-Busch Golf Classic. Former OSU golfer pro from Oak Tree, Scott Verplank, is just 2 shots back. And on the Seniors Tour, Gary Player leads the event in Long Island, New York. Lee Trevino trails by 5 shots. In the LPGA event in Toledo, Ohio, that would be the Jamie Farrar Classic. Joanne Carter and Tina Tomes Pertzer have a 1-shot lead. Remington today, Watch the horse on the inside here. This is the 10th race, a 350-yard allowance race. Number 1, Signature of Love, comes out fast and no one will be able to catch her. Number 7, Straight 6, makes a late charge on the outside to get second place. And just a reminder that tomorrow at Remington Park, the richest day in Remington Park racing history. 2 big races on hand, and the post time will be 1 p.m. Pretty good race there, huh? A major wreck during practice for tomorrow's Daytona 400 stock car race. 7 cars involved and 3 drivers. Darrell Waltrip, Terry Labonte, and Dave Marcus were sent to the hospital. Labonte and Marcus were released, but Waltrip will be out for about 2 months with multiple fractures.
Ooh, that'll change things.
Right.
Thanks, Bob. Well, just ahead on News Team 4, a look at the latest in pest control.
Pet owners may have found the answer to flea and tick problems. The newest thing in bug zapping when News Team 4 continues.
When my sister called, she sounded worried.
I'm glad you could make it.
What are sisters for? What's wrong?
It's Eddie. He's 13 with a steady girl. It's not easy to talk to him about sex, drugs,
And now AIDS.
How did Mom talk to us?
She didn't. Look, you and his father aren't together anymore, and with the risks of AIDS, I'd talk to him soon.
I will. But I'll need to know what I'm saying.
To help you prepare for a conversation about AIDS, call for a guide.
Hello, I'm Charles Boyd. The next time you plan to buy a car or truck, find out why so many people buy from us. Then visit us and see for yourself why you, too, will appreciate the way we do business at Boyd Chevrolet, GO 5000, West Reno.
At the Olive Garden Italian restaurant, we speak a different language. We have no words for can't and won't. In fact, we don't know the meaning of enough. The Olive Garden, where all the best of Italy is yours. Summer is the perfect time to eat out in the garden. The Olive Garden has a new summer menu. Fresh new dishes for light summer lunches. Mouth-watering new creations for sumptuous summer dinners. So come, eat out in the garden. The Olive Garden.
100 miles. That's how much farther you can travel on the highway in a Chevy half-ton pickup than you can in a Ford. Every 25 gallons of gas, 100 miles. Now, doesn't that hit close to home? Nobody's winning like
the heartbeat of America. Today's truck is Chevrolet.
Here's a look forward to some of the stories our news team will be covering this weekend. We'll be starting a new series on life planning, how thinking ahead now can improve your life later. Also, construction still making driving perilous on Council Road near the Northwest Highway. We'll find out what's taking so darn long. And more on the National Guardsman accused of stealing supplies and selling them for profit. That's this weekend when you join us for News Team 4.
Well, summertime can mean a lot of sweat and sunburn to many of us, but pet owners, they see it a little differently. A lot of fleas and ticks. In our nightcap tonight, the latest in doggy technology, the electronic flea collar. Although it may look like something Dick Tracy would wear, this device can be lethal. By sending ultrasonic waves, this flea collar drives insects crazy, forcing them off the animal. But before you run to the store, listen to this. Both the Food and Drug Administration and doctors say there's no proof they work.
I would be concerned that that frequency might also be irritating to the pet itself. And being close to the ear, it might be a problem.
And doctors also say if you do buy one of those, be sure to check and see that it's working. It worked for me. We tried it on our Schnauzer once. I think we were just lucky, though.
Didn't bother the TV reception, did it?
Didn't bother the TV reception, didn't bother the dog.
All of a sudden
certainly didn't bother me.
That's it for us. I return this weekend. Hope to see you then. Have a safe one.
Good night.